They talk about it. 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 Welcome back to She Could Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Gangalee. Hey, and that's GANGALEE on all streaming platforms. If you want to check out my music, just look for the red glasses, the locks. You can find me there. And you tell me if I can rap, okay? Over here, though, on YouTube, on She Could Talk the Podcast, this is where I react to everything. I react to news, sports, crime, politics, music, YouTubers, TikTokers, influencers. If they're talking about it, we're talking about it, okay? All right. Now, in this episode, and I want to give my disclaimer, reluctantly that I want to respond or react, not respond, but react to this trending news topic. It's, as you can see from my screen, we're talking about the one and only Sean Puffy, aka Diddy, aka Love, aka Daddy Love, Combs. So Sean Puffy Combs, right? How did I butcher his name? But yeah, and the unfortunate mishaps that he's been in as of lately, leading up to this trial, right? So this last week here, or about a week ago, they started jury selection for his trial, and they're asking the jury different questions about celebrities and trying to figure out, who's going to be a good fit for this jury, right? They're trying to do all this now. They say it's supposed to be, they're anticipating about a 10-week trial. A lot of celebrity witnesses and a lot of salacious videos are supposed to be coming out. And so they're asking questions like, hey, how do you feel about watching videos of a sexual nature? How do you feel about hearing about graphic sexual encounters? How do you feel about, drugs and these celebrities and that celebrity? Do you like Kanye West? Do you like Kid Cudi? It's crazy. It's crazy, right? So what I wanted to do was to kind of share and get a little backdrop and react, because I'm not even going to lie. I'm from the era of, literally being in the club with Puffy and Biggie. Shout out to Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Literally being in a club with them. Literally before Biggie blew up, I remember him being out there off of Clinton in Brooklyn. And you come out the train station and him, Lil C's literally really were on the corner hollering at chicks. Yeah. So I'm from that era. Okay? And I've seen and heard a lot. I'll leave it at that. But we're going to bring it up to date, right? And we're going to kind of go through and kind of get a recap, myself included, because I personally have not been following the Diddy case closely to get all the blow-by-blows. Yes, we all have seen the Cassie video. Yes, we saw the baby oil in the raid, right? We saw the baby oil in the raid. We saw the sons handcuffed on the lawn. We saw Puffy doing his farewell tour before actually getting arrested in the hotel, right? Last year. But for those that's not following it closely, I did want to do a recap and kind of bring it up to speed on present date with the jury selection. But I have one piece of video that I want to go back and react to, because in light of watching and hearing about all of these new upcoming news and breaking news with Puffy and charges and allegations, I remember a story from about maybe 5, 6, maybe even 7 years ago at this point that I thought was odd when I heard it, but I wasn't surprised. So we're going to react to the news first, and then I'm going to share, a story. You all tell me if you are familiar with this one as well. But first, we're going to get into ABC News. They kind of do a recap of everything and bring us up to date on what's happening with Sean Combs.
Known as Diddy, known as Puff Daddy, is about to stand trial in New York in May. Combs had his famous white parties.
So I moved to a new neighborhood and they were like, well, what's this guy doing moving here in East Hampton? I'm like, come on over to the house so y'all get to know me. You ain't got nothing to be afraid of.
Some of the alleged activity may have occurred in the later hours of those parties.
Kids have an hour left because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all won't want to come to.
And there are a lot of questions. What he's exactly charged with, who's going to testify, what this case is going to look like. But before we get to those questions, We want to remind everybody how we got here.
Right.
Lawsuit filed by R&B singer Cassie.
Cassie describing the music mogul as a vicious, cruel, and controlling man.
The whole criminal case against Sean Combs.
And I want to say really quickly, because a lot of you, my subscribers, you guys, my viewers out there, first of all, shout out to you all. Shout out to you all. The more you become familiar with me, you should see and know that I am an advocate for, women. I'm a supporter of women, right? And I feel like we should support each other. We should strengthen the bonds. I'm not saying every woman, like, oh, you're a woman, we instantly should just fall into a fairy tale friendship and forever be. I understand. Not everyone likes everyone. I get it. I understand that. But I wanted to just point out really quickly that Puffy, and I'm going to go back a little bit and just look. Let's look at how
we got here.
A new lawsuit filed
Let's
by
look.
R&B singer.
Look how great they looked, right? I remember in these times, a lot of people were so in awe of their relationship. And so many people was like, oh, Cassie, she's so lucky. She has a sugar daddy like Puffy. He gets to, do whatever. She gets to do whatever, buy whatever. And she's living a plush life. He always has her at the Met Gala in the most extravagant gowns and all of the awards shows, right? Remember that? But to come to find out what she was dealing with on a day-to-day basis is bananas, right? And then if someone like Puffy with money and power and eyes on him could do something like this, what could the average person do? What could the average person do? And we wouldn't believe they are doing it. What can the average person be doing and we wouldn't believe they're doing it because everything looks good on the surface, right? I just wanted to say that about Cassie and Puffy really quickly, because to me, I find it interesting that it was so many people back then. To me, I thought it was a weird, cringy relationship because of the age difference and how they got together. He basically stole her from Ryan Leslie, which was her boyfriend at the time, and that guy was devastated and crashed out. And he was even older, so it goes to the rabbit hole goes deep. But let's get back to Puffy.
For Cassie.
Cassie describing the music mogul as a vicious, cruel, and controlling man.
The whole criminal case against Sean Combs starts with a civil case brought by his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, alleging that she was in an abusive relationship with Sean Combs.
And just a day after word of a settlement.
The lawsuit was settled with no admission of wrongdoing. That lawsuit settled almost instantaneously.
I remember.
But it gave
Do
federal
y'all remember?
prosecutors in Manhattan a window into the kind of conduct that went on, allegedly, in Sean Combs's life.
So remember that, guys, okay? Because I'm going to circle back to that. I'm not done with, the news. They're going to go into more detail. But remember that they said, and do you all remember? Because I feel like that wasn't last year. That was 2023, around Thanksgiving, where she put that deposition out, which was bananas, if y'all remember it. I actually kind of am mad at myself for not being more reactive back then, because that was some tea. But if y'all remember that deposition, she put that joint out on a Friday. Monday morning, 9 a.m., that joint was settled. And to me, and a lot of people, a lot of reaction channels, a lot of bloggers, a lot of podcasters, a lot of people were saying that's a sign of, admission of guilt, because the turnaround time on that was too quick. And I think she got like 38 million allegedly, something around there. Keep me honest, guys. But that was a very quick turnaround time. And just like the news reporter just said, shout out to ABC News, just like he said, that gave the Manhattan District Attorney's Office a nice window of opportunity, or a nice window into the type of things that Puffy was doing, right? But was that the first window? Stay with me, guys. But let's get back to this.
Civil lawsuits.
A series of new civil lawsuits facing new lawsuits from 6 accusers.
Good Morning America. Like, everyone's covering it. Everyone's covering it.
That opened up the floodgates, and there was this avalanche of civil claims that also helped inform prosecutors as they built a criminal case against Sean Combs. His accusers paint a dark picture of a sexual deviant who preyed on young women and men looking to make it in the
Women
industry.
and
All of
men.
which Combs has denied. The truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted anyone, adult or minor, man or woman. Combs has mansions.
Remember
one in
all of
Los
that when the
Angeles,
raid?
one in Miami, and simultaneously, federal agents from Homeland Security investigations ended up guns drawn going in to both of those homes.
And when I saw that, I was like, let me pause real quick. When I saw that, I was like, it's over. They didn't even do that. Oh no, I'm lying. I was about to say they did not do that to R. Kelly, but they did. Y'all remember the mattress leaned up next to the studio door in the alley when they raided his stuff simultaneously? Bill Cosby, simultaneously, they raided his properties. I remember that. I was about to say they only did to Puffy, but no. They did it to quite a few. But let's get back.
Cartons of evidence, a lot of it electronic, ended up being seized by those federal agents to help prosecutors build a case. It's on tablets, it's on phones, because according to federal prosecutors, Sean Combs liked to film himself and others in sexual situations. And a lot of these videos are going to be played at trial. And so prospective jurors are being asked if they mind looking at all of this stuff because they may see quite a bit.
Can you imagine being on that jury?
Right now, Sean Combs' videos are going to be played at trial. And so prospective jurors are being asked if they mind looking at all of this stuff.
Can you imagine?
They see quite a bit of it once the trial begins.
Kanye West, Kid Cudi.
So, shout out once again to ABC News. This now we're heading over to New York Post, page 6. You know, so shout out to New York Post for their take. So that one was kind of more. That first article was more so like a lead up, like a kind of refresher on how did we arrive at the trial jury selection. So now this is really last week, the week of the actual jury selection, and New York Post kind of is giving you a little rundown of what's happening thus far.
These names and other celebrities came up at day one of Diddy's sex trafficking trial in Manhattan. Those names were on a list of possible people whose names might come up at some point during what's expected to be an action-packed 2-month trial. At the beginning of a trial like this, the jurors are given a chance to say if they have any sort of association or any sort of feeling about any of those people that would make them an impartial person or would make it so they couldn't.
What is Michael B. Jordan got to do with it? Did he try to holler at Cassie or something? I don't know. Y'all tell me.
It started with a panel of 50 jurors this morning. Diddy also got his first look at some possible jurors that may decide his fate. And he was able to trade out his jail outfit of a tan, drab clothing for his own clothes. He picked a dark blue sweater over a crisp white button-down. His hair, though, has been increasingly getting more gray in the 7 months that he's been locked up, because hair dye is not allowed at the Brooklyn jail where he's staying. As a reminder,
and I want to pause real quick right here. So I want to ask you all, because I just thought about it just for watching that part. I've seen a lot of like sketches and a lot of even AI generated photos of him in the courtroom, and it's showing the extreme grayness there. And I get it, because they said hair dye isn't allowed. He's under stress, under duress because of everything that's going on. His life is flashing in front of him. I can imagine. I can only imagine. I cannot imagine, honestly. But I get it. Now, it just made me think of a couple of years ago. It was, and she's still up here. So shout out to Sloan Bella on YouTube. Go check her out. Go check her out. So, it reminded me of something she said. Excuse me. She said recently, or 2022, maybe even before that, let me give you a little backstory. Sloan Bella is a psychic, right? And she's known for being accurate with her fortune telling, her psychic abilities, right? She's been known to be accurate. And she has been saying for years that, she met Kim Porter in the afterlife, and Kim Porter has been, talking to her and giving her information. And she would do these psychic readings and connect to Kim Porter and tell basically predict things that were going to be happening. So in a weird roundabout way, she predicted that his downfall was coming. And she said it's going to be a young person leading the charge that's going to set it off. And everyone's saying, the grand scheme of things, the young person is Cassie because she's extremely younger than him. And, the abuse and everything that was put through, when she put that deposition out, that opened up the floodgates, right? She also said that they really don't want to persecute him. They really don't want to send him to jail for life or anything, but it's more so about the humiliation of it all. And it's about humiliating him to the point that society will forget about him. And that's his biggest success, or a big stroking of his ego is being famous, being popular, being loved, and being successful. So with it being stripped away from him, that's the way they are punishing him. Air quotes, they, right? Allegedly. That's what Sloan Bella said. Check her out. That's not my words. That's hers. But it made me think about what she said as far as they didn't really want to persecute him or punish him. It's really more so a humiliation that they're putting him through. So emphasizing his hair is gray and how quick his hair is gray and all this other stuff kind of put me on that vibe. I can't lie. But let's get back to the New York Post.
With very serious stuff, including coercing women into what he called freak-offs. Prosecutors called them days.
Those baby oil
coerced
escapades.
Performances. His ex, Cassie Ventura, is expected to testify. But look, we're just at day one of what's expected to be a long, 10-week-long, possibly, trial that could decide whether a man who was
they serious. He's out there in the rain.
A couple of years ago will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Nah, I'm going to pause right there for a minute because I am going to take you guys down memory lane real quick. Key things to remember from that first part. Cassie's deposition broke it right open. Do you guys remember the tea that was spilling out of that deposition? Go look it up. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other, bloggers, podcasters, reaction channels even that have reacted to that deposition. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. Craziness up in there. But she said a part in there, if you guys remember, that allegedly Puffy would hire men and women, like sex slaves, right? And basically she would have to perform with them to entertain and, basically be like a voyeurism type of situation for Puffy to enjoy, allegedly. But he's on trial now, so we don't know. But a lot of people was like, that's crazy. But I wasn't shocked when I heard that. I wasn't shocked when I heard that. I wasn't shocked when I came across this 7 years ago. So to give a little insight, we're going to play it first a little bit. Let me see here. I don't know if y'all familiar with this carpet here, but this is down here in Florida, and this is Trump's hotel. I don't know if it's Mar-a-Lago or if it's one of the franchises, but it's definitely a part of the Trump resort down here in Florida. And in about 2017, a man named Jonathan Oddie ran into here with a flag, vandalized the place, started shooting out the cameras, and had a shootout with the police. All right. At the time when he got arrested, it was weird. It was a weird story. And we here in Florida was like, okay, we're back in the books, Florida man. Right. And then I remember the Miami Herald that's the newspaper. Shout out to the Miami Herald, like maybe New York Times, but we got the Miami Herald out here in Florida. And they put an article out in 2018. And it was like maybe a year after the guy went through everything. And the title of the news article, which further had my spidey senses tingling, was "The Gunman Shot," because, he had a shootout with the police and the police shot him and then arrested him. They said the gunman that got shot at Trump Hotel was a stripper and a porn actor who loved Melania Trump. Right. So if you would look up that article, I kind of gave it to you verbatim, guys. So if you get a chance, look up that article, Miami Herald, and it even has a little bit of video in there about the incident. But the crazy thing about this news article, it made this man seem super crazy, super crazy. Made no mentions of anyone else because it happened in Trump's hotel. They had tied it into Trump and then said that he was obsessed with Melania. He was from South Africa, this guy, and he was obsessed with Melania. And that's what it was about. Like he was trying to get close to the president because at this time, President Trump was in his first term. So they were like tying it into like a crazy man trying to kill Trump or kill Melania or attack his family and shoot up his hotel. Okay. So this happened about 7 years ago. What? 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 8 years now? 8 years ago, this happened. But about 5 years ago, this footage came out. 5 years ago. Now remember, Cassie submitted her deposition in 2023. Yeah, because it's 25 now. Time is flying. So she submitted her deposition in 23. Puffy got arrested in 24, early 24. And now they're going to trial in 25. This happened in 2017. This shootout right here. And this is just like a quick highlights. The deposition is on here. Not the deposition, excuse me. The interrogation of Jonathan Audie is on YouTube. Look it up. It's about 40 minutes long. But this was a highlight of him in Trump's hotel shooting. And they made him look like a bumbling, fumbling, crazy man. Right? And he's shooting up the place. He's running through here. This is down here in Florida. And we were down here like, what? Just some crazy man, the president, Trump, some crazy man trying to go out there and be seen, right? But then his actual interrogation, because this is after he got shot, arrested, and he's able now to be interrogated to find out, like, what the hell were you doing in Trump's hotel? What were you doing? And listen to what he said.
It's embarrassing.
And his highlights. I want you to pay attention to certain parts because, like I said, his interrogation in its entirety is about 40 plus minutes long. This is just highlights, but let's get to it.
That's why he's going about a stormy situation. Okay.
He's talking about Trump because they started out asking him about Trump because he got arrested and shot at Trump's hotel. And they're trying to see if there's a correlation of him trying to harm the president, which he was at this time the president in his first term.
United States?
Yeah.
Just my dog Bubbles. My service dog. Yeah. Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies. Okay. They're gay.
Who?
Both. Diddy and Ross. And Khaled. They're all gay.
Let me bring that back for you in case you didn't hear what he said.
Because it's
So just to give some insight, he was saying how and I don't want to, this is coming from his mouth, allegedly, but at this time he was insinuating that he knows a lot of political things because of his ties to Puffy. And they was like, who? And he said, P. Diddy, Ross, and Khaled. And he said, well, how do you know this stuff with Trump? And I'm going to cut that out because I want to give you guys a little research and a little homework to do. Go look up Jonathan Oddie, ODDI. Look up his interrogation video and watch it. Very insightful. But he got arrested at Trump's hotel. So they're trying to figure out, what are you doing? What are you trying to harm the president? And he's like, no, actually, I'm trying to give him some information. And they said, well, how do you know this information? And this is what he said. He said, because it's embarrassing. I really don't want to tell you how I know. But then he proceeds.
That's why he's going about Stormy situation. Okay.
Stormy Daniels. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Yeah. Just my dog Bubbles. My dog. Yeah. Diddy and Ross, which they good buddies. Okay. They're gay. Who? Hey. Diddy and Ross and Khaled. They're all gay. Okay. DJ Khaled.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah.
These are not my words. These are his words.
Okay. Who supporter? Hamas. Hamas. Yeah. Sorry to say the wrong. No. Hamas supporter. Okay. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I totally lost.
We're gonna bring it back.
Hamas supporter.
This was in 2017. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying, and then think about Cassie's deposition from 2023.
Okay. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot.
Okay.
It's hit that.
I think I see what you're saying.
Okay, how do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
We call it so. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's got what's called the boulet. The boulet. The boulet.
Look that up.
Okay.
It's the black people. Okay. I'm from Africa, so I'm not a racist. Okay, you're my brother, so I like black people.
Okay.
My mom, I was raised by an African woman in my house. Okay. She was just a servant, but she was she took care of.
That was his abuela.
People. Okay. I had settlement with Sean. Okay. Okay. And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so.
What you heard? In case you missed it on the swipe, I'm trying to just do the highlights here to give you a little homework to see that, to let you know this is going to be an interesting 10 weeks for Puffy here. But listen, he said, I had a settlement with Puffy.
Famous, they land over contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years. I worked for Hillary Rodman for 5. Okay. When I take Sean the threat of death on me, okay? I don't have it, but I can make it available under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting blamed for anything.
Okay, listen to him.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business.
Okay.
Dude, Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave. Okay. For them, that's what I was. That's all. All right.
Let me pause it right there so you can read it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says, in case you missed that, Adi just claimed that he was a sex slave for Puff Daddy and Cassie Ventura, and that Sean Combs would it rhymes with instigate, while telling Adi what to do with Cassie, as he, Puff Daddy, would conduct business on the phone. So he would be entertained by whatever they were doing while conducting business on the phone. And he said it would come through like the Bluetooth, the speakers, or it would be on a loudspeaker. So he heard lots.
Herpes, and I came back and I seen him for the herpes and wore them.
Now listen.
That's all. All right.
So remember he said he had a settlement with Puffy. He had a lawsuit and Puffy settled. Listen.
I caught herpes and I came back for the herpes and won.
He sued and won.
Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. He gave me back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
Gotcha.
It's possible. I'm not sure. Now, how does this lead towards Donald Trump? Okay. The Mercedes family.
Now I'm going to cut this part a bit, but
Mark Geragos used to be Michael Jackson attorney.
Yeah, out in Los Angeles.
He had he drugged Michael and they OD'd him. Okay. They OD'd because they keep the royalties.
do you hear him? Allegedly, guys. This is not my words. This is allegedly. I do not own the rights to this.
Okay, in 2017, which who keeps that royalty? The music companies. Who represents the media and entertainment? United States?
Allegedly.
Most of them, Mercedes does. Kenny Mercedes, which is Gruber Mercedes shot out of New York. Okay, with Stormy, with other people, because they want him out of the government. Okay. But it ain't happening because it's too smart for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Trying to.
So he's talking about Trump right here.
We have a similar type of mentality.
And he's saying that he's saying that, because it's highlights, guys. It's like a 40-minute joint. And I was trying to get some of the juicy, more interesting parts for you all. But they were saying, well, what were you doing at the hotel ultimately? Like, why were you shooting up the hotel? He's like, because he didn't know any other way to get President Trump's attention. And he wanted to see if he could possibly get his attention to tell him what he know. And in 2018, they painted him as a crazy porno actor or corn star. Corn is in corn dogs. Star that was obsessed with the president's wife, allegedly. Now, these are all his words, guys. These are not my words. And like I said, I just watch things and I react to it and I bring it to you all to say, what do you think? I'm not going to play too much more of that because that's hot. I'm telling you, and I don't really see a lot of people, talking about this. But what made me also think of him in the week of, watching him do the jury selection, one or two bloggers or podcasters did bring him up and say that he was allegedly testifying, or it has been confirmed that he contracted the STD that he said that he settled for, that he got a settlement out of Puffy for, directly from Puffy, allegedly. And it goes deep with this guy and, leading up into the trial. Very interesting. The interesting thing to me is when this went down in 2017 and 2018, we didn't see this. I didn't see this interrogation video. I didn't see this interrogation video until maybe about 2021, 2022 in passing. And it was like still kind of presented like he was crazy. But in the grand scheme of present date, sometimes maybe we don't shoot the messenger and we heed the message. Because as crazy as it may sound, it may have a little bit of truth to it. Allegedly. But I'm going to leave you all there, guys. And I'm going to leave you with some homework. I want you all to go ahead and look up this interrogation. Or if you're familiar with it, come in and join me in the comments and tell me what you all thinking. Am I reaching? Am I just trying to put 1 and 2 together and make 5? Or is this deeper than we know? You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. So I'm going to leave y'all all with that. And I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. But before I do, I'm going to leave y'all with this motto. If you like anything I do, tell a friend. If you don't like anything I do, tell a friend, because it does not hurt either way. And from my lips to your ears, I love you, but I need you to go out there and love each other. Be good to each other. Spread that love. And then come back over here and show me some love and hit that like, subscribe, comment, share, and tell a friend. All right? But you know how we do. I'm about to leave y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. It's Gongali. You know what I'm saying? It's your girl Gongali. It's She Could Talk the podcast. And we're out. Peace. They talk about it. They talk about it.